And now on 7 News at 10 tonight, the latest results in the race to become the next president. Who has the lead right now? Plus, a little closer to home, the race for Spartanburg Sheriff. Who got that race under their belt? And in the battleground state of North Carolina, voters are deciding who will be the next man to lead that state. The contentious race for governor.
Live from the news station, this is 7 News at 10.
Well, we want to win. We do want to win.
So many people are counting on the outcome of this election, what it means for our country.
Boy, has it been a tight race all night long, and we are following it closely here at 7 News. Right now, as you take a look at your screen tonight, we're following the vote. It's very, very close when it comes to the situation with Hillary Clinton and also with Donald Trump. I can tell you, as I watch the numbers here, I've got the electoral vote count, and Hillary Clinton has 104 electoral votes to Donald Trump's 140. Again, it's going to take a lot more states to come on in tonight before we really have anything definitive, so stay with 7 News. We have team coverage tonight as we follow all of this for you tonight. We want to give you the latest information on the major races tonight. But first, we begin with our Robert Kittle. He's in Columbia at the Republican Party election headquarters. Robert, what's happening there?
Amy, a lot of people here who are very excited about what's going on in South Carolina and also around the nation. Now, it was no surprise that Donald Trump was projected the winner here in South Carolina. He was expected to win here. The last time that a Democrat won South Carolina was Jimmy Carter in 1976. But the question was how he would do, of course, in the rest of the nation. I talked to Lieutenant Governor Henry McMaster earlier today. He said that he thought that Donald Trump would do much better in the polls than expected. The last polls before today had Hillary Clinton with a slight lead and showed her path to the Electoral College victory much easier, and that it might be very difficult for Donald Trump to win enough Electoral College votes. But Henry McMaster said that he thought that Trump had a really good chance because he thought those last polls were not accurate, because people might be afraid to tell the pollsters that they really were going to vote for Trump, and that once people got in the polls, they would vote for him. We're seeing that now, and people here have been excited. Every time we've seen a state go his way, there's been a big cheer. So now they're watching the swing states that he needs to win, like North Carolina and Florida, and he has a lead in both. And they'll be watching those throughout the night to see if he can pull this out. Amy, back to you.
Robert Kittle, our Capitol reporter, thank you. Right now, several news sources are reporting that Republicans will keep control of the U.S. House of Representatives. We, of course, will keep monitoring that as well. Many of you have had a lot of questions about how the Electoral College actually works. Our Gordon Dill is standing by right now with our political analyst, Jonathan Sarnoff from Limestone College, to tell us a little more about how that works. Gordon.
Hey, good evening to you, Amy. Boy, we talk about this Electoral College all night long. You just gave an update on Trump and Clinton. But I think it's fair to say a lot of people maybe don't have a complete understanding of why we have the Electoral College and exactly how it works. Let's start with why. It's in the U.S. Constitution.
It's in the U.S. Constitution. So basically what happens is that we don't have a direct democracy, right? We vote for a slate of electors based on population. The more population a state has, the more electors they have. And then there's the Electoral College convenes, and whoever gets the magic number of 270 wins the presidential election.
And as you see, so the numbers we have here, 15 in North Carolina, 9 in South Carolina, all that is the number of congressional districts plus 2 senators. So 7 congressmen in South Carolina, 2 senators, you get 9. If you look at the slate of electors, we have the Democrats and Republicans up on the screen. What we're talking about is loyal party members who sort of are elected by the party.
Right, exactly. And there are severe penalties, of course, if they decide to switch their vote by the time the votes are counted. So, but yeah, these are reliable electors that so people can feel safe in South Carolina, North Carolina, go to the polls.
Your vote still matters, and in fact, as Jonathan's saying, it is against the law for those electors to vote for somebody other than who the candidates vote for. Amy, we're following that all night long. Let's send it back to you.
All right, Gordon and Dr. Sarnoff, thank you. In North Carolina, voters in the battleground state are not only voting for the next president, which is still very much up in the air tonight, but also the governor of North Carolina. It's been a very contentious race, as you've probably known following this. A key issue here, Governor Pat McCrory defending his decision to sign and keep HB 2, even though the state lost out on millions in business and tourism money and jobs. Governor McCrory said if he stays in office, he would not take down the so-called bathroom bill until the Supreme Court rules on it. Right now, it's a close race. 71% of precincts are reporting. Incumbent Pat McCrory has 49% of the vote. Roy Cooper now sitting at 48%, and we will keep following it closely. Our Addie Hampton is in Raleigh right now live with the latest as the candidates wait to see who will be leading that state. Addie?
Well, Amy, it's not exactly a party yet if you are watching this race closely, and everybody in this room is doing just that. Like you just mentioned, 49-48, some people saying 49-49, basically a tie. Definitely a horse race in this one, but it's been like this since the start. Going into Election Day, Roy Cooper was tied in certain polls, the Elon poll, for example. Others had him down by just 1%. Many people around here are saying this is going to be a long night. Now, as you mentioned, the bathroom bill, many critics saying that could be the downfall of incumbent Governor Pat McCrory. Obviously, this bans transgender persons from using the bathroom of the sex with which they identify, as you mentioned. It's led to the loss of hundreds of millions of dollars and most recently led to the relocation of the NCAA tournament in Greensboro. Now, we're told the governor is here in this hotel. He is watching the returns with his family and is expected to make a speech tonight when results come in. But as we've also been told, we may not see results tonight. It's going to be a long, interesting night here in Raleigh. I'm reporting live tonight at Pat McCrory's Watch Camp. Addie Hampton, 7 News.
Addie, thank you. In Spartanburg County tonight, the question of who would serve as the sheriff was one that was on the ballot. It pitted the incumbent sheriff Chuck Wright against Russell Lynch. Our Brianna Smith is now live in Spartanburg County as the candidates there wait to see the results. Who will be the next sheriff? Any clue yet, Brianna?
Well, Amy, we just got some brand new numbers, and with 97% of the precincts reporting, Sheriff Chuck Wright does have 86% of the vote compared to his challenger, Russell Lynch. We do have Sheriff with us right now. And Sheriff, what's your reaction to those numbers?
I just know God's good, and I'm grateful for everybody that prayed for us and supported us and, believes in what we're doing. So I'm very thankful.
It's been a busy couple of last days. What are you going into carrying this into the rest of your new 4 years?
Well, I'm still praying for the victims' families, and just because we got some cases, some type of closure, and it's still not over for those guys, and we still going to keep working real hard. And, I promise the next 4 years is a lot more of what you've been seeing. We're going to keep trying to bring the community together. We're going to keep on trying to make sure that all communities are good, because that's what makes Spartanburg great. We should all learn from what Woodruff did. They're a great community, and we're really proud to be a part of them.
Anything else to say to your voters tonight before we wrap it up?
Thank you. I'm very honored, and I'm honored to serve as your sheriff, and I will continue to do the best I can.
Thank you, Sheriff Wright. So again, with 97% of those precincts reporting, Chuck Wright does have 86% of that vote. We do have someone out at Russell Lynch's campaign as well. We will be bringing you sound later on tonight. Live in Spartanburg County, Brianna Smith, 7 News.
Brianna, thank you. Another hotly contested sheriff's race in the area out of Lawrence County. The current sheriff, Ricky Chastain, was not on the ballot today. He was beat in the primary earlier this year by Don Reynolds. Frederick Reynolds was later approved to run as a petition candidate, and that set the stage for a matchup between Reynolds and Stephen Williams. Reynolds won tonight with 55% of the vote. Also, we've learned that Spartanburg City and County have approved Sunday alcohol sales. Again, both Spartanburg City and County voters deciding for Sunday alcohol sales there. In Greenville, we're still waiting to see if the Sunday alcohol sales will be approved there. That's because a lot of voters were in line when the polls closed. So at this hour, we really don't have a definitive result on alcohol sales in Greenville County. But again, look for an update over at 11 on Channel 7 or maybe within this newscast tonight. Our Dave Jordan is live right now in Greenville, where the voting ended just an hour or so ago. Dave, it was a really late night there.
A very late night, Amy, specifically because a lot of the voters in this county had problems at their precincts, so they were told to come here, and that's why the lines were very long. There were at least there were many voters. I can't even put a number on it, but all of them told me that they were waiting at least 2 hours to vote. One woman telling me that she was in line since 4:30 and she left here sometime around 8 o'clock. Now, we should tell you about those alcohol sale vote. That is a very closely watched referendum that's on the ballot. The issue with that is that it was voted on by the county council to go on the ballot. So even if it passes, there's no word yet on when it will take effect. And what I mean by that is that the businesses who sell alcohol will have to apply for a license, and then once they get the license, then the sales can begin. And there's no telling how that happens. So there are a lot of people who are saying they hope it passes because, you know, they can go and grab some beer for the Panthers game on Sunday. That's not how it works. The businesses will have to take a while for those licenses to come in. So we are still waiting on those results. We are also waiting to see the numbers of what the precincts that are reporting, and we will bring that to you as soon as we get it. We are live in Greenville County. Dave Jordan, 7 News.
All right, well, going into tomorrow morning, weather-wise, we expect a cool start to the day, kind of chilly, but not quite as chilly as it was this morning because we're going to have some cloud cover around the upstate. It's going to start out in the upper 40s. So you'll want the sweaters and jackets on your way to work and way back to school. The kids had the day off today. In the mountains, 43 degrees will start our day. It's going to be a breezy one, and we're tracking yet another cold front that's going to bring an even bigger change to our temperature for the weekend. I'll talk more about that coming up in a few minutes. Stay with us. We have much more for you coming up right after this.